right, man. Let's talk about Tyreek Hill. I mean, man, he out here crying. I'm so tired of being alone. I'm so tired of the alone. And you help me, Patrick Mahomes. I shouldn't have left. Yeah, sound good living in Miami. You know what I'm saying? It sound real good living in Miami. It sound real good living in Miami. But when you ain't putting up numbers, when you ain't putting up numbers, and he had less than 1,000 yards this season. I mean, he should have known the season was gonna start off messed up the way the cops threw him on the ground. When you sitting here and you ain't putting up numbers, these receivers turn into crybabies. Calvin Johnson, Marvin Harrison, even though he said he would beg for the ball if he didn't get the ball the previous week, but he wouldn't do it publicly. Larry Fitzgerald, Calvin Johnson, those guys are anomalies. Look at the current landscape of receivers. You look at the guy like Malik Neighbors, you could tell, even though he started putting up numbers at the end, he really didn't want to. He kind of a little sassy, crybaby ass nigga. I like him though, but he was crying about being there. I don't blame him. I cry about Daniel Jones too. And, George Pickens. I mean, that's just how receivers they've been. It's only every now and again when you get receivers like Calvin, Marvin Harrison, Larry Fitzgerald. Those are the outliers. Great receivers that are low maintenance. Usually, Jerry Rice was one of them, but then you talking about T.O., Randy Moss, you know what I'm saying? You start going down that list, Steve Smith, Chad Johnson, you get some colorful guys in there. That's just the nature of the beast. But let's listen to Tyreek.
This is my first time I haven't been in the playoffs, man. So, I mean, for me, like I said, man, I just got to do what's best for me and my family, dog. If that's here, or if that's wherever the case may be, man, I'm finna open that door for myself, dog. As I'm opening the door, like I'm out, bro. So it was great playing here, but
I mean, you thinking about leaving here?
if it is, hey, yes.
Yeah, he thinking about leaving there. Yeah, it's over with. It's done. The rabbit got the gun. You know what I'm saying? He over it. Real talk. He over it. He over it. He's over it. He missed the playoff one time. Now, my thing about this is, does this say more about Tua's future? That's the question. Does he think Tua's done? A head injury, and the offense look totally different without Tua. Head injury. All right, he get another head injury. Now he got another hip injury. So does this say more about Tua? And him not believing that Tua will be back? I think it say more about Tua. He don't believe Tua will be back. He been Tua's biggest supporter. He's been Tua's biggest supporter. So I think it say a lot about Tua. I think it say a lot about Tua. I think it say a lot about him. So, but I mean, I feel him, man. Like he 30 years old. So, he really in his prime right now. And for him to have the season he did, it ain't like the Dolphins ain't treated him good. They tore up his old contract, gave him a new one to compete with the young guys getting paid, with the newer receivers getting paid. So they took care of him. They took care of him. What else the fuck he want? They took care of him. But a lot of people say, "Oh, you shouldn't have left a winning situation with Patrick Mahomes for money." Hey, man, if it was in New York or Dallas and they was winning they was winning in Kansas City, he would have stayed because he'd have made that money off the field. In Kansas City, it probably ain't that much money to make off the field from a endorsement standpoint. And then you got to understand his history too. His history makes him not marketable. And I ain't going into it because we all make mistakes. They love for that to define you and or whatever. But a lot of the women don't have no responsibility when it comes to that. They don't have no responsibility, and they started. It's proven fact statistically. They started those type of disagreements. So, I mean, you start thinking, obviously you want to trade them somewhere where you gonna win. So you start looking around. Dallas, they put a lot of money in other positions, and they still got to pay Micah Parsons. They still got to pay Micah Parsons. So then you start going and you saying, okay, Minnesota got receivers, Green Bay got a bunch of receivers, and you really want to go from Miami to Green Bay too is a great question. Detroit could be a spot, but they seem to have receivers. They got some money to blow, but you got to pay people too that's already there. So, and does he fit the culture in Detroit? Check out my Detroit channel, Motor City Sports. Start the links in the link tree. So, it'd be nice to have him in Detroit. But that'd be a huge step. He's still in his prime. I mean, it'd be interesting. Then you go down to New Orleans, they not in win now mode. Tampa, I mean, maybe going down to Tampa, going right up 75, whatever it is for Miami. That might be a good fit for him. Baker getting people the ball. Godwin just hurt his leg. Mike Evans still doing his thing. Him and Mike Evans would be a problem. They running the ball with Bucky Brooks. What's his name? Bucky Irvin. Hey, Tampa might be a place. Carolina, they getting it together, but they quite not there yet. So they quite not there yet. Atlanta, they got some young guys in there. I mean, I wouldn't, if I'm Atlanta, I don't mind getting rid of that dude, Kyle Pitts. He just ain't got it. All the talent in the world, but just seem like, So, yeah, if I'm Atlanta, maybe, but they really, they kind of there. I mean, you kind of really got to wait on, Penix Jr. to really get there. Got a little experience this year, kind of like Patrick Mahomes' this rookie year, but that may not be the ideal spot for him neither. Then you look, maybe if you're the Washington Commanders, would he want to go play in Washington with Jaden Daniels, put him with Terry McLaurin, which I think he really a top 10 receiver in my opinion. Terry McLaurin, a real problem. So that may make some sense. Yeah, that might make a lot of sense. Having, getting them with Terry McLaurin. So yeah, I mean, you keep going down the list. Dallas probably don't have the money. Philly seemed to got two good receivers already. He may not like playing with Jaden Daniels the way he Jalen Hurts, the way he distribute the football. So you got Dallas, Philly, Washington, Giants probably not an option right now. Even with a rookie quarterback, if they get one, they, Kirk Cousins more likely probably going over there. Who else we got? The Rams, they got receivers. Arizona probably not an ideal team for him right now. Seattle probably not an ideal team right now. The 49ers, I mean, they can get rid of Debo on some things. I mean, him and 49er land, I think that might be the best spot so far. Detroit, the 49ers, I think 49ers will be back good next year. Then you start going over to the AFC, Pittsburgh. I don't really know. They keep Russ, maybe Justin Fields. No. The Bengals, they lose T. Higgins. I don't know how they afford Tyreek, but Tyreek's contract already paid. So, maybe going to the Bengals, going from Patrick to Joe Burrow, Tua to Joe Burrow, that's not bad. Cleveland, no quarterback right now. Lamar, I don't know if Lamar can really give him the football the way he wants with Zay Flowers there, but maybe Baltimore look into it. I doubt it. AFC South, if anything, Houston, everybody else probably know. Indianapolis, Anthony Richardson got a lot to grow. Jacksonville just fired their head coach. And Tennessee gonna have a new young quarterback, so I think he want to win. So if any of the teams is Houston, right now, Houston and maybe Cincinnati, Buffalo to be another spot. Do you want to play in Buffalo? He did play in Kansas City, play with a dog like Josh Allen, but the Jets, Patriots just fired Gerard Mayer, which was pathetic, and he already left the Dolphins. So I think Bills, Bengals, Texans, going back to Kansas City is an option. They struggling with receivers right now. So I'm pretty sure Kansas City would accept them with open arms if they financially can do it. That's different. The Chargers, they put a nice team together. Getting a Tyreek to LA, I think he'd do that. That's a great fit for him. Denver got a bunch of young receivers. I think they're happy what they got right now, but I don't know if Bo Nix is really the quarterback for him. And then the Raiders don't have a quarterback. So I think the 5 best teams for Tyreek Hill, no particular order, the Lions, the 49ers, the Bengals, the Bills, the Chargers. I think, or Chargers and Kansas City is the 6 teams. I think that's the best fit for him. Check out the NFL playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon, Kick, Twitch, the whole 9. Appreciate the love and support. Let me know what you think in the comments section. Join the Patreon. Peace.